25 of our traffic signals. And we have, at this time, about 130 cameras on some of the traffic signals that we can bring up on our video wall there. And so you can see on the left, I know it's not all of them, but you can see, Bill can choose which cameras he wants to see, and he can use our video management server and software to arrange it on the screen in almost any way you want to see it.
Let me ask you something, John. Which one of those intersections was the one that we were meeting with the Ford about?
That one right there.
That one.
Okay, I thought so.
Okay.
So we can bring up, we could actually look, I think it's 64 at a time, which gives you a headache, so we don't look at 64 at a time. So, but Bill is in here every day, and he monitors the traffic. That's his role in this. Kenny is our signal manager, so he's in charge of everything traffic signals, and Bill works under Kenny.
Okay.
And Bill's job is to monitor traffic, particularly during the peak hours. So in the morning when you go home, go to work, and then in the afternoon when you come home, that's Bill's watching the flow of traffic with these cameras.
Look at that. Oh my God, that's a long line.
Yeah, and so he can kind of adjust how things work, and he can see if there's a backup somewhere where there typically shouldn't be. He recognizes it pretty quick, and then we try to figure out, is it a signal? Is it an accident? Is it a construction? What's going on, and why is it causing that? And then we can even adjust what we do based on that information. This is what we use every day, and then during masters, obviously, we have a masters preset for our video wall. So there's about 45 cameras in and around the routes to Augusta National, to and from, and so we have a masters preset we can put up, and then we can monitor the traffic for masters. What else we have in here is besides the cameras that we can look at, Bill has access. Bill and Kenny have access to all of our traffic signals, either through a fiber link or through the internet or through a cell phone. And so they can look at each individual traffic signal and see how it's working.
That's software we're here for.
Yeah, so that's the lower TV over there.
Oh.
And so we can see the status of every traffic signal. And we can actually bring it up and we can see exactly.
Oh, I see it's changing. Is that changing lights over there?
Do you see the colors changing?
Yeah.
Green, all that stuff. What's actually running right now.
So that's what's running right now. And all the little dark spots are ones that we haven't connected yet, but we plan on doing that. Now we can still communicate with those signals, but we can't.
4G.
Yeah, but they're on like a cell phone modem,
Yeah,
so we don't have
yeah.
video or anything. So we're going to fix that later this year with our next TIA project.
More fiber.
More fiber. Yeah, lots more fiber. By the time we're done with our fiber, we'll be the second largest fiber network in Augusta.
Really?
Really?
We moving on up.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all are.
So AT&T.
I'll tell them about the building over there at the school.
Yeah, AT&T will probably AT&T, and we'll still have the speed. And WOW is up there somewhere, but we'll have the second or third. Most people don't know, but we're actually one of the largest fiber networks in the city.
That's pretty cool.
We also can, besides communicating with the controllers, we also have our signal preemption, which is an emergency preemption. So what that means is when a fire truck turns on its lights and its sirens, it preempts or interrupts the traffic signal wherever it is, and it knows what direction the fire truck is coming from, and it'll change the light green for them. So it kind of interrupts what's going on, so they can get through the intersection quicker than they normally would to get them to wherever the emergency.
There was an agenda item a week or two ago about that.
Yeah, so we're going to actually upgrade that too. So right now we have a hardware-based solution where you have to have a piece of hardware on the signal and you have to have a piece of hardware on the vehicle itself.
Okay.
We're going to switch it to a cloud-based solution.
Okay.
And so that'll allow us to expand the whole system to all of our traffic, well, about 220 of them.
Okay.
Some of the outlying signals on the outside of, in the rural area don't need it. But for everything in the kind of the metro urban area, we'll upgrade it.
Okay.
And the great thing about that agenda item was it uses every GPS, every city vehicle has a GPS on it anyway, it's required. So it's going to, instead of putting a piece of hardware, another piece of hardware in every vehicle, it'll take the GPS unit that's already on the vehicle and we can use that. So we don't have to keep buying additional hardware.
Gotcha.
and everything is stored in the cloud instead of on our server in the corner there, and you know, all this and that. So
Okay.
so it will allow us to expand our system in a very reasonable way.
Okay.
Now y'all can take pictures and everything, John. I'm just looking at the camera down there on the right. So y'all can take a picture of, see it on the right. I'm just seeing the images down on the right. Yeah, I see it at the top. So y'all can take pictures. Yeah, the icons up there.
Oh, the little icon. No, I never use that. Can we take a
They
picture?
do a snapshot.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. We'll take. Okay, I was just wondering. I see the camera and stuff up there.
Yeah, so that's how you control the camera. It's a little circle with the little lines that have that in the middle. That's how you turn the camera.
Okay.
So Bill can turn the camera.
Oh, I
Okay.
see.
So we can zoom in, zoom out. So, you know, we're not really interested in what people are doing in their cars. We want to see what cars are doing. We want to see
Yeah,
what a
so
group
y'all
of cars are
look at the
doing.
roundabout right there.
Yeah, that happens to be the roundabout near Augusta National,
Mhm.
Ingleside and Berkman's Road.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we do in here.
That's pretty cool though. It's a pretty cool setup.
Yeah,
I
we
wish
got
I'd
a
have been
lot.
here. I told Kenny I wish I'd have been here doing the masters. So I
Yeah,
could
yeah.
see all
Yeah,
this.
I've missed it.
Yes.
Yeah, if you ever, or if we have any other event, sometimes we help with other large events. Another thing that we're working on is the sheriff just installed several of their cameras downtown, so Broad Street and the Riverwalk and some of that other stuff. So they've created something very similar on their side,
Okay.
a network that's very similar to this, much smaller in scale, but very similar to this
Okay.
on their side.
Okay.
And we're working with IT to upgrade our bandwidth, our internet bandwidth.
Okay.
And then we're going to send all of our traffic cameras. Those are the sheriff's cameras right there that he just pulled up.
And that's something you can just watch crime movies.
Yeah, they can watch crime. But we're going to send all of our cameras, all 130 of them, and then eventually all 220 of them to them for their use.
Okay.
So we don't record video. We're not in the business of. I'm not an enforcement officer. I don't have anything to do with it.
Right.
But if they want to use it, more power to them.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so we're in the process of doing that too. So I'm working with your good friend Gary to get our internet upgraded. I got to call him, matter of fact, soon, and then because our download speed's fine, you know, you can download whatever you want. This thing, it's taking all these cameras and uploading it to the internet. That's causing the delay. So, but we were able to give them about 45 cameras for the sheriff. We were able to give them about 45 cameras for the masters.
Okay.
So they were watching them, but what we saw, they saw.
Oh, that was good. This is really cool. This is nice.
This is very elaborate.
Yes, very.
And so this bit room was done in 2018 is when it was completed. You're looking at about $1 million between the wall and the furniture and the hardware in the back and all that. This year we have another TIA project, so we're going to upgrade this room. The video wall you can see is 20 50-inch monitors. So there's like 20 50-inch TVs up there. That's what makes the video wall.
Okay.
But that is so 2018. So they don't sell individual monitors anymore. Now they have these little tiles that are about a foot.
Yep.
And so the little magnetic tiles. So we're actually going to replace our video wall either this year, early next year. And we're going to, believe it or not, we're going to make it bigger.
So what y'all gonna do with this one? Give it to the sheriff's office?
We haven't quite decided what we're going to do with the monitors yet. If you want a few of them, I'll put them in your. We can install them in your office.
No.
We got a couple of our single shot. We have a small version of this at our single shot.
Oh, okay.
Where we can actually look at it there also.
Oh, okay.
And then we're going to be using it actually in John's office, my office.
Oh, okay.
So we have a little steps here now to
Okay.
actually use it.
So I'll be able to look at not this elaborate, but I'll be able to look at this basically in my office. if
Oh,
I
okay.
need to.
I got you.
And Kenny and Bill can do it in there. They have offices just around the corner.
So what's your next big capital plan? What is something that you can't do today that you're planning for 10 years from now?
Well, our next big plan is as part of that TIA project that I just mentioned. So we want to upgrade this room.
Okay.
We want to expand our fiber system.
Okay.
So right now, I forget exactly how many miles, but it's like 8 or 10 miles of fiber.
Okay.
But we're going to add a whole lot more than that.
Okay.
I mentioned we have 130 cameras or intersections that are connected by fiber to this room.
130 intersections?
130 intersections are
Okay.
connected to this room. Signalized intersections
Okay.
are connected to this room. By the time we're done, we'll have 220.
Okay.
So that's most of our entire system, and the other 50 or so are on the outlying areas.
Okay.
So some of them are Hepzibahs and are blight. We don't need to see those because they're not in the urban area, and those can run independently without affecting traffic flow too much.
Gotcha.
So that's why we're only going to connect 220 instead of 275.
Gotcha.
We've already, well, I think our administrator will appreciate this. In the background, we have switches and servers and firewalls, and we've already upgraded all of that.
Oh, that's
And
good.
so we've already spent a couple $1 million upgrading all of that to bring it up to, because after like I said, this was all built in 17, 18, so it's almost 10 years old, eight or so years
A
old.
lot of stuff aged out.
And so a lot of stuff aged out, so we had to replace all of that. So we've already done that. We've upgraded all of our rhythm systems, which is our adaptive signal timing.
Okay.
And so we're already in the process of upgrading all of our rhythm systems. We have about 50 or so
Okay.
throughout the county. Those have all been upgraded.
Okay.
And that's a $60,000 per intersection upgrade.
Okay.
So we've already done that, and that's what he's showing you there.
Okay.
So that we've already accomplished that. We're going to, when we upgrade this room, Doc doesn't like the furniture. So, and I'll admit, the furniture that we have in here was kind of at the tail end of the last project, so it was just sort of what we could afford.
Okay.
But we visited Savannah, and we visited Gwinnett County, and we visited GDOT, and so we've kind of seen how they've laid theirs out. So we're going to lay ours out something very similar to what they have.
Okay.
So we're going to upgrade the furniture, the video wall. It's kind of as you can see, if you're sitting down, you can't see the bottom of it. So what we're actually going to do is bring the bottom of it up and then make it wider.
Gotcha.
And so it'll actually go wall to wall.
Wow.
But the bottom will be higher, so it'll be more rectangular than square.
Okay.
So that's our plan with that. And with those tiles, we have a lot more flexibility in what we can do. So it's actually gonna, like this screen here, we're actually gonna curve the whole thing.
Okay.
And so
Oh,
instead of it
really?
being
You
flat,
gonna screen that? You gonna curve?
yeah, we're gonna curve the video
Just
wall.
similar like the monitors.
Yeah, just like that monitor.
Okay.
So it'll curve, it'll be kind of a little bit of a concave curve in it. So regardless of where you're standing in this room, you should be able to see the edges. And so we're going to do that. We're going to upgrade the video server, which is in the corner there, that actually runs the whole thing. There's a dedicated server, a piece of hardware that runs the video wall.
So when are y'all gonna do that, John?
This year.
This year?
Yeah. So I don't know if you remember a month or so ago, we had an agenda item to hire Kinley Horn.
Yes.
That's what this was.
Okay.
What else have we done, Kenny?
We're
We purchased.
gonna upgrade video detection in
That's
about
right.
90 of our intersections. We're going to detection wise. That'll help us with actually moving the traffic a lot more better in our detection system.
Okay.
It's a lot older and antiquated. Like I said, it's aged out.
Okay.
So what we do is we're trying to upgrade that to be a lot more better. So be close to like 90 intersections with that going to be added. Also, our school flashers, we had where we had to actually individually go to each school pretty much and adjust timing and all that kind of stuff. So now we're gonna have it on 4G so we can actually do it from one location. And if anything goes wrong, instead of sending somebody way out there to see if it's actually something wrong, we can actually pull our software up and look at it, from here, or actually at our signal shop to say, okay, what's wrong, what's not wrong with it, and stuff like that. So we actually try to come along where we can actually use this a lot more than just saying. We don't want people to think we're just sitting here and watching traffic. We actually doing more with it than just that.
So what are you doing now, Bill?
That's our rhythm software that's used up and down mostly our main corridors. We can actually adjust traffic, move traffic, and what it's showing you on the right side, the software is designed to actually put manual calls in. So we can actually take this light right now that's running green. We can actually stop that green, running green, turn it red, and turn the other side green. We can actually make the light move when we want to move. We can actually push traffic, want to push traffic, stop traffic, want to stop traffic.
Oh.
So we don't do that on a daily basis. Normally the system runs itself, but during masters and some special events, masters in particular, we are constantly forcing phases on and off. Now it's not quite like the movie where it just happens like that. There is a series of safety protocols. So when he puts in a call or he tells it, hey, I want this phase to be green, it has to shut down the other phase. It has to stop the other phase. It has to go through the yellow and red before it'll switch.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah,
not.
just put it in.
Yeah.
It's manual calls here. Now it's green.
Yeah. So he just made southbound green.
Okay.
So.
Oh, okay.
Not like the movie with Italian Job when they show everybody go green at one time.
Yeah.
The
doesn't-
system is not designed to work
It's
that
not
way.
But I don't know, if
There's
you
too many
hack it,
credit
if you
cards to
hack
keep
it
that
right,
happen.
you can
Okay.
do it.
So we won't do that here. We can't turn them all green at one time. Sorry.
That's cool.
Yeah, so there's a conflict monitor built into the equipment.
Okay.
So if he tells like two directions that would cause a crash to go green at the same time, the conflict monitor would recognize that as not something that we should be doing. And what it actually does is it kicks the signals into flash.
Okay.
And then we'd have to either fix it in here with the software, or we'd have to send out a technician crew and they would fix it.
So y'all don't have to have too many technicians go out anymore, do you?
Oh, yes, we do.
Y'all do
Oh, yeah.
what? To fix the lights or
Yeah,
install them?
it's the maintenance actually. The biggest thing is maintenance to make sure everything is running properly.
Oh.
Like I said earlier about the video detection, all that kind of stuff, because that stuff not proper, we have to actually fix it on hand. So that's why we have to actually install and maintain everything ourselves. The biggest part of our civil technician is maintenance. Make sure everything is running up to par the way it should be running.
So there's an example, this camera here, you can see these kind of blue boxes.
Yeah.
That's the detection, right? So the camera is saying there's a car in each one of these lanes. You need to serve those cars, and based on the timing that we have. Well, what happens is it's windy or there's a thunderstorm or a hurricane or whatever. It'll take this camera and it'll turn it. You know, just the wind moves it, and these boxes don't line up with these lanes, and so we get fake calls.
Shifted over.
So what happens is if the camera's pointed on the wrong side of the road and some car drives by in the wrong direction, it's saying there's a car there, you need to serve it, even though there isn't,
Oh.
because it's not pointed in the right
Point.
direction.
Okay. That doesn't happen very often, though,
It
right?
doesn't have to.
Now, don't they use something underground too?
Yeah, we're trying to get away from a lot of that cutting the road up and the loops and all that kind of stuff, because actually happens, the weight of vehicles, the
That's
road
right,
ships
that's
and all that kind of
that's
stuff.
right, okay.
Some ruts in the road and potholes and stuff like that, so that's the part of video detection. So we have to do, we actually use video detection, we actually use radar also. So we actually doing more and more, just something simple. We actually moving on more and more and advancing with the stuff that's coming along. Like the radar is a big part of it, so we're starting to get more in radar now. To keep from antiquating of stuff of this may happen where we found out with video detection, some video detection doesn't work well with certain color cars and stuff like that. So radar takes place and stuff like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right
It also, if it's facing east or west, you know, the sun comes up, the sun comes down,
Yeah.
that really messes with it.
Right into that sun. Yeah.
So-
Like, you know how you drive your car, the sun just blinds you?
Yeah.
It does the same thing to the cameras.
Yeah, so we're moving to newer systems. So our network, specifically this traffic network, is probably not the most advanced in the state, but it's pretty high up there. There's a lot of major metropolitan areas around the Atlanta, urban metro area, where this traffic center and the technology we have is actually more advanced than most of them. So we're one of the top ones in the state. I put us in the top 15.
They see a lot of ooh-ahs when they see us. Yeah.
We actually have people come here, look and see what we've done, and then they go back and they do it there. So we have that happen.
That's pretty cool.
So we try to stay. I mean, that's what the TIA money does. It allows us to kind of keep everything current and sort of advance the technology based on whatever's happened in the last 18 years. So yeah, we have one of the best ones in the state, in my opinion, anyway. Sorry. But yeah, we're really we use this a lot. I think it really benefits the citizens of Augusta. Most people have no idea it's here, no idea how it works, but we're in here doing what we do, and we constantly are trying to improve. We're always trying to. I'm not on the bleeding edge of technology, but I'm kind of once it's a kind of a tried and true, when you're on the bleeding edge of something, we may purchase something and in 2 years the company goes bankrupt and some other standard has been used, and then we have to replace it. So I don't want to be at the very forefront of everything, but You know, once a standard has been created and a sort of a, you know, GDOT has accepted this is something that we want to use in the state of Georgia, then we get interested in, okay, well, let's do that. So I know connected vehicles are another big deal. That's something that's coming, and I know they're testing it in Gwinnett County and some of the other metro Atlanta areas. But they're still sort of in the experimental phase with all of that. So as soon as they figure all that out, and they figure out what their standard's going to be and what vendors they're going to use and all that, we could actually upgrade this, because the most important thing with this is the backbone. You know, we have a good backbone for our system, and the fiber's the key, and then, you know, the servers and some of the other stuff we have either in the IT building or here, that's the key, and then we can just build on that. So, you know, if they get to the point where that's something that GDOT wants to do, the state of Georgia wants to implement, we could actually do that here.
That's good.
So, you know, with a little bit of work.
This is truly impressive. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
For letting us come in and interrupt your work, Bill.
I'm still working.
I know.
Yeah, most of the stuff we have to monitor is during the busy times. You know, in the morning and in the afternoon, sometimes at lunch.
This is pretty good.
You're the first one that's actually taken an hour to come and see it. So-
Really?
Yeah, really?
Jeez.
You taking it down, Bill?
Yeah, I think so.
What happened?
The temporary light here.
Temporary. They taking it down, we moved it today.
Yeah, you're gonna
Oh.
people are not gonna be happy with it today.
Yeah.
Oh, that was for Masters
Yeah,
year.
those are massive. One other thing I want to work on this year, between this Masters and next Masters, is I would really like that light to be permanent.
So how do you get it?
So right now, Washington Road's a state route, and GDOT has a standard that says the traffic signals need to be spaced a quarter of a mile apart, 1,400 feet. Well, that signal at River Ridge is only 700 feet from the next signal, which is at the water tower, which is Old Berkman's, where you go into Fresh Market and CDS and all that. And so those two signals are only 700 feet apart. So the local district doesn't have the authority to tell me, go ahead and just leave it in. I have to go all the way to the state headquarters to try to work that through, the GDOT headquarters to try to work that through.
Hey, Doc. Good morning.
Now, I was stopped when we were doing breakfast because Vincent Jr. Danny, he didn't want it to move it, so there was more political.
Yeah, there's a political reason.
Oh.
Yeah, so that was part of the original plan.
So you had to like,
It was pretty well, not to do that.
Yeah. Well, District 2 also told me that. They
Once
signed
they
it.
moved, they already bought them out.
Yeah, they already bought them out. I know that. That I know.
Years.
And so I'm hoping to keep them both in and keep them there. Or the other thing we could do is I could make the River Ridge signal permanent. We'd have to upgrade the poles, but I can make it permanent, just keep it there all year, and take this shopping center signal, the one at Old Berkman's, and make that a temporary signal that we put up and down every year.
Gotcha.
So kind of switch.
gotcha,
the two.
yeah.
So, because the people in River Ridge and National Hills, I mean, they really enjoy it because it works really well when it's there. But you know, I have to take it down because it's not permitted for a permanent traffic. So they allow us to do it on a temporary basis, which doesn't have as many rules.
Was that the light that neighborhood was complaining about further down by the old hotel? Remember last summer, there was a neighborhood complaining about that particular light. You said it doesn't meet the distance requirement. What's that?
That was around where Starbucks is. That 7 Brewery.
7 Brewery.
Oh,
Brewery.
no,
yes.
that's farther up the road.
No, but they
Oh,
were
yeah, I
but
know
they were
that.
saying that you had that temporary light. They were asking for the same something of the
Right,
light.
so
yes.
so they reference River Ridge,
Yeah.
and then they say, well, you put up a temporary light there, why can't you put
Oh.
one up
yeah.
at 7 Brewery?
Oh, okay.
But that traffic signal is even closer to Stevens Creek than this one is
Yeah,
to.
it's closer, yeah.
That's only
That's
like
worse.
That's only like 400 feet apart.
Okay.
GDOT would never allow.
Okay.
They would never allow that.
Okay.
And so even if I went all the way to headquarters, they'd be like, no.
Okay.
We got to be careful because the closer the traffic signals get together, the harder it is for us to keep the traffic flowing. Because if they get out of sync even a little bit, you know, you're stopping and you're stopping and you're stopping and you're stopping and you're stopping. And people get frustrated and they get upset. So
It's amazing to think that the people right here are controlling all of this.
Oh, yeah.
You know how to get through it.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. The impact that y'all have. This is
I'll be honest,
amazing.
for a city of this magnitude, the traffic flows pretty well here.
Yes, it does. That's what
We think so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You think so?
Yeah. Now, sometimes I curse when I'm at a certain light. I'll say that. I got to figure it out.
Don't curse at me.
I don't curse at y'all. I'm just trying to think it's not thinking about it. But
It's funny when I first moved here, I would drive all around, you know, Augusta, and I didn't have any issues. And then I would tell Kenny, hey, Kenny, there's a traffic signal at Washington and Baston, or Washington and Old Evans, or whatever. Can you fix those? And Kenny said, those aren't mine. Those are Columbia County. So every time I would complain about a traffic signal,
It wasn't here.
it wasn't in this county. It wasn't a different county. So I learned pretty quick where our county line is.
I think
We
it's
try to stay on top of our time. We actually just did some corridors with the state where they actually time it for us for free.
Oh,
So we
okay.
actually are trying to upgrade some stuff, make sure it actually is flowing. We do listen to when they let us know if a certain corridor is going on. The biggest thing that helps us out actually is people calling in and letting us know stuff's going wrong. Because you drive the road all the time, you know when something's
That's right.
different. So when they call, let us know, we kind of get on it right away. Like I said, you asked about a technician, that's something the technician does right away, is that when somebody calls and let us know the problem, we have people out there on the fly just going to see what's going on and stuff like that. We can look at stuff here and determine stuff here, but we still need to ask the technician in the street to actually make the repairs. You know, so we can't not go without them.
Yeah.
There's no way about it.
But we do have our signals on a maintenance schedule. So every traffic signal should be touched in a certain amount of time. And just to go out, check so all the components are working, clean it up a bit, clean up the cabinet a bit, things like that. You'd be surprised. Snakes and spiders and lizards and all kinds of stuff get in those cabinets. And they crawl up in there and they short out things because they connect two things that normally wouldn't touch. And
just like squirrels and this.
yeah, exactly. Squirrels, I mean, you name it. We get all kinds of critters in there. Spiders are the worst, especially the ones like the black widows that have those silky webs. Current travels in those webs. So if they connect two things that aren't supposed to touch, it can short it out. So
I
yeah.
never thought about a spider.
Yeah, spiders are the
That's
worst.
me.
Spiders are the absolute worst. But anyway.
You'll see our
Learn
guys
something
up.
today about a
You
spider.
see our guys up vacuum cleaning, dusting them out.
Yeah.
We have to
I
do all
had
that
no
stuff.
idea. I
So
learned something.
we try to keep them, and we have to clean the cameras. I mean, you can't see through it if it's not clean. So technicians do a lot of that work too.
Huh. Well, thank y'all. We
Thank you.
appreciate it. This has been
Thank you.
really, informative. This is really awesome.
So when you see future agenda items,
Yeah, I know
just
now. I
check the box.
understand. That's right. Won't
Check
be
the
a
box.
question on our end.
Yeah, we're upgrading
This
this
is
in
nice.
some way. Well, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. Y'all got a lot to be proud of. I tell you that much. A lot. Appreciate it. Man, you have any
Good to see you again,
questions?
sir. Good to see you.
You know, I'm fascinated about technology.
Sir, thank you.
I'm amazed.
Yes, sir.
All right.
It's out and all
Thanks, Doc.
excited about the technology, but yeah.
If you really want to see it, Bastards is a great time. But also, if you come like in the afternoon when everybody's going home,
Okay.
then we could really just kind of show you.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. See you later, Kenny.
All right,
Tell your wife and them I said hello.
Okay.
Thank you
All
for
right,
coming.
thank you, John. See you later, Vito. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
This is awesome.
Yep,
Appreciate it.
it is.
Now, can we get out of here?
Okay.
Doc, you gonna take us out? Do we have to have security or anything?
Oh, man.
Oh, okay.
Not for you.
Shoot. I couldn't
I know,
even
right?
get in here. Hey, Doc, I couldn't even
I
get
told
in
her she
here.
need access to every building in the
I
county.
know. I had to stand outside until somebody came and let me in.
You need to have farmer material, right?
Yeah, I'm telling you.
This is nice though.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
going left. I can't even say I'm going so long. See that? I can't do traffic. Now,
Which way you
here.
going?
That's right. Good bag.
Come on there. Hurricane.